We ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
Gang first, last. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Welcome to Brews and Reviews with Mick and Pat. I'm Mick.
And I'm Pat.
And each week we sit down with you degenerates to pretend we're certified cicerones and cinephiles.
That is right. So grab a cold one and join us as we review Wild Tonic's Blueberry Basil Hard Kombucha and give our thoughts on episode 8 of the HBO Max series, The Last of Us.
If you've been with us before, you know what time it is.
Release the Kraken!
Ooh. Ooh.
That's not a good sign.
Huh.
I mean, nothing.
I know. Mine's steaming.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I guess. Sorry, folks. Sorry, Ken. That was kind of weak. That was a weak crack. But
we cracked it away from our microphones because last week it went
no, I
everywhere.
even moved my mic over.
Oh, you moved your mic over too?
Yeah.
That's smart. That
Maybe
was
you
a
should
smart maneuver.
just fully in one of our previous week's cracks or pops over it, you know? That way it sounds cool.
All right. Did you sip it yet?
I haven't.
Are you afraid to?
Yeah, I'm terrified, dude. This legit looks to me like snake oil that would be sold to me by a guy with a goatee, mustache, and a large top hat.
And he has an assistant that comes out on wooden, like one wooden crutch.
Yeah.
And he's like, gather around.
It's a little one-legged boy.
Yeah, gather around, one and all. The tonic is here. And then the boy drinks it, and he throws that thing away and just starts
walking.
His
leg slides out of his pant leg, and he can he's regrown it.
He regrew it.
Dude, did you ever see Sweeney Todd? The movie
no.
with Johnny Depp. It's essentially musical, but there's just this point where Sacha Baron Cohen's character, he's the guy. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his character is another barber and trying to sell a tonic for growing hair back. And he has this little boy as his come gather around. And they and Johnny Depp's like, let me see that. And he's like, smells like piss. And then his wife's like, smells like piss. Looks like piss. Looks like piss. This is piss. This is piss. And it's one of my favorite, that alone is what made me watch the movie the first time.
That's funny. So blueberry and basil. I don't know if I've ever eaten those two things together for starters.
No.
But it's in one of these old school blue bottles. I like it. I like that. And it's got not embossed, but what would you call this? It's not engraved either, but it's in the glass. Oh, you took the first sip. All right, we're going first.
It's beveled into the glass.
If you found this a couple of years, 100 years from now, you'd be like, no, when you find bottles now, look, if I put this in the dirt and someone found it in 1 year, they'd think it was hundreds of years old.
They'd think it was from the 1800s.
Yeah.
If you took the label off of it.
Yep. So.
Oh, shit. No, that's a flavor.
It is a flavor. Wild Tonic Hard June Kombucha. So it's from the June, which is was that the green tea one? And honey. Green tea and honey, not black tea and sugar. And it is an exotic ferment made with 5.6%, or made with only the finest teas and honey, 5.6 alcohol by volume, gluten-free, and I guess maybe we should have just poured one of these into and drank it, because it's funny on the back. It says this is 2 servings on here.
Oh,
it's a 16-ouncer. But how much is it? In a normal bottle of beer is 12, right?
Yeah.
So is, and what's a pint?
I think a pint is 16 ounces.
Yeah, so this is a pint. Yeah.
A pint of kombucha.
This one was enjoyed by 11/11/22, and it is currently star date March 2023. So we're a little past the enjoy by date, so it's hard to tell if that extra fermentation in there is just, if it's intended or not.
I mean, here's the immediate thing that I noticed after those first two sips. And I'm going in for a third. We're going to do it here in a moment. But first thing that comes off, meaty, honey, you know?
It feels earthy.
It's honey, like a hard, sweet, fermented honey flavor.
Yep.
All right, folks, you know what to do. Take a good mouthful, swish it around, aerate it, push it through your teeth.
It just feels old. It's like I'm drinking something not turned. But it's like something that somebody from a long time ago also would drink things with this flavor.
Yeah, like this is like as best tasting as it gets in the Wild West.
Yeah, or in like the caveman days. They just find some rotten honey on the ground and they just lick it up. And they don't know why they start feeling good.
It's got. Here's the thing. There is a slight blueberry. Like it reminds me of other blueberry flavored beverages I've had.
Yeah.
It really reminds me. It's hard because it doesn't have the same kind of vodka-y flavor with it. Mm-hmm. But the blueberry flavor in this is very similar to the blueberry soju I've had.
Mm. What's that, soju?
It's like a Korean vodka-based beverage. It's just more. It's like it's like 12 to 15%. And the bottle's about this size.
Okay.
But it doesn't taste like that. You know what I mean? It tastes like a White Claw, kind of. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad.
No.
But I do think I would describe it as dusty.
Yeah.
Like this is if I wouldn't be surprised if like this is the same thing I've seen sitting on the shelf in a couple grandma homes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's just up there next to the china. Yeah. Just sitting unopened.
Yeah, there's actually a little dust on the bottle.
There is dust on the bottle.
Reminds me of an old country song.
What is it?
Dust on the bottle.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Don't know.
It's a good one. But anyways, so I think I like it too. This one's going to take some time to like sort through what's actually going on in my body. Mm-hmm. But these guys, Wild Tonic, I should say Gal, started up in 2015, which I feel like is the newest, or not newest, is the oldest kombucha company we've reviewed so far.
Yeah, the most mature.
And she's out of Arizona, turning beeswax into a beverage company. Started off as a painter and worked with beeswax. And I guess she liked to paint like how they used to paint in the ancient days, where they'd use beeswax. And then she discovered the art of fermentation. And that's kind of it. She started working with June and beeswax and turning it into honey and turning it into kombucha, and then started doing hard kombuchas as well. I think it started off as just a kombucha company. They sell hard kombucha and normal non-alcoholic as well. Let's see what else they have here. That's about it on their story as far as what they put out in the public. But we watched a quick video of her talking about her company, and I think that
she sounded more like a grown up.
She sounded like a grown up. She sounded knowledgeable,
voice.
and she sounded like not like some people trying to do a startup company or a business that they're trying to sell as someone who's actually like.
It didn't sound like her daddy was giving her money for it,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Not to be associated with any of our previous reviews of kombucha companies that white label all their stuff. So I think this one's genuine. Like I think she went and learned how to do it and considers it an art and a craft. And I feel like the taste is coming through in it right now. That it's like it's different than all those other ones that we had in the cans. Were there was something about each one of them that was just kind of the same. Mm-hmm. Like the base of whatever like you were saying earlier, like the vodka base to it. It was just like there was like a
Well, I mean, there is something that's the same in all of them, you know? It's either the same green tea honey thing or the same black tea honey thing.
Right, but in like all of those, regardless of that, it just felt like there was something more kind of, even if they were using whole foods and being
Dude, I'll tell you what,
you know.
I don't think there's anything that tasted like that cucumber lime triple X.
Yeah, I think I blocked it out.
Dude, that you didn't like that one at all?
I mean,
you did give it the one thumb down.
You liked it because it was painful.
Not because it was painful, but because it had a punchy flavor.
Oh, yes.
It was distinct. Mm-hmm. I kept going back to it because I wanted to feel it again.
It makes me feel alive.
Well, I mean, you know, it's okay that we don't have much to say here. Perhaps that's probably the best, because I think the more we talk about these kombucha companies, the less nice things we have to say about them. You know? So we'll keep it short and sweet for our folks here with what is it? Why is it so hard to actually find the name on this damn bottle? It's on the wood cap, isn't it?
No, they're called Wild Tonic.
Oh, not Above and Beyond kombucha?
I know. I thought they were Above and Beyond kombucha, but I think that means they do more than just kombucha. I don't know what that means.
Buzz Lightyear, Above and Beyond.
That's what I was thinking too.
Wild Tonic. Company seems to stand up. Seems fine. Do they have anything on there about like give back charities or anything like that they do? Most of these kombucha places seem to be doing something like that. I
don't see it advertised.
Maybe they were just quiet about it.
I assume this person might potentially actually give more money back to charities.
Yeah, often the people who don't say a lot are the ones who are giving a bunch.
This is true. This just might be true. So yeah, just keeping it quiet. We don't know what they're involved in. Maybe she's just hoarding it all away for herself so that she can go do more dirty hippie things in the hills of Arizona.
Nothing wrong with that, dude. I'm all about people. Look, like I donate a lot of my money, and you know I know you give with your money as well. But dude, I'm a big believer in not forcing people to give up their money. I don't care how rich they are. Mm-hmm. Let people spend their money how they want to spend it.
She took the risk. She earned it.
Yeah.
She went and learned how to do it.
Yeah.
So
thoughts on the beverage so far? Let's really kind of give it the, you know, deep rundown. I am curious. Tell me what color it is as I pour it out into my gullet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a little pinky, I think.
Really?
Ready? Let's see. Oh, miss my face.
That would be on brand for blueberry. It's too far in your mouth.
If we started foaming out. All right, try number 2.
Like an inexperienced girlfriend.
Okay. All right.
You just got to pull it over your mouth more, dude. No, look at the bottle. You can look at the bottle. You don't have to look behind you.
Weird shaped jaw. Here we go.
Smoke break.
Smoke break.
Hey, Ken, it's Mick, and I've got something important to talk about. We all hope we never find ourselves in a self-defense situation, but life's unpredictable. Enter the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer, an actual credible law firm you can put on retainer for your self-defense needs. For just $35 a month, you get national coverage in all 50 states for criminal and civil legal representation in self-defense situations, complete with a 24/7, 365 toll-free emergency line. That's real legal support when you need it most. What's in the package? Bail bonds, scene cleanup, firearm replacement, even mental health counseling. Plus, 0 fees for a laundry list of defense-related costs like expert witnesses. So support the show and get yourself some peace of mind. Click the link in our show notes or visit our sponsors page to sign up for the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer.
Hey folks, Pat here. If you're like Mick and I, you're a fan of classic tales like Lonesome Dove, Blood Meridian, The Three-Body Problem, and Steinbeck's East of Eden. With Audible, you can dive into these epic stories anytime, anywhere. Sign up for a free month, and your first audiobook is on the house. To start your free trial and support our show, click the link in the show notes or swing by the sponsors page on our website.
Want an awesome website for your podcast? Check out Podpage. We use it for the Mick and Pat show, and it's a game changer. Set it up in minutes, no coding needed. Support the show by using our link to get started. Your podcast deserves a home as great as ours. Podpage, the one-stop solution. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of pinky.
Yeah, little pink.
It's a little. I mean, I guess
the blueberry in there turned.
That's
pink.
what I think too. Yeah, blueberry kind of when you press it. Like, you ever had blueberry wine? Like, real blueberry wine's not actually all that blue.
Right.
Like, they dye it blue for a lot of it, but most of the time it's kind of grapey colored.
Because really, like, the inside of a blueberry's
white.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, not as blue as you think.
Yeah. Alrighty. It has a rather flat profile, I think. Like, it's not sudsy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very carbonated. Nothing wrong with that. And that might be because we're past date. Maybe the carbonation is gone, but other than that, like, it is really just what it tastes like. There's no texture.
I'd say the carbonation in this is comparable to what non-alcoholic kombucha is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost like it's like natural from the fermentation to a point, not necessarily a lot of added.
It definitely, I mean, really, honestly, the thing I'm getting the most out of this, at least from like the hard kombuchas we've tried, this is one of the ones that tastes less like hard kombucha, more like a almost some kind of Arnold Palmer, like a tea that you could get in store, like a green tea. Like, if you told me this was blueberry Lipton green tea, I'd believe you. I wouldn't doubt that for a minute.
Oh yeah. I think that, but it's thicker than that. But
is it?
Yes,
I think it's thin, man. I think it's runny.
Yeah, I think it's just the honey honey is strong.
Yeah, the honey flavor is probably the thing that overpowers everything else in it, I think.
Yeah,
but I don't taste the basil, which I don't mind, because I don't really want to taste basil. I like basil more on my meat and less in my beverage. You know what I mean? I add a little bit of basil into seasoning for chicken, or sometimes on roast pork, or sometimes on a steak. Don't really want to taste it in my beverage. So, and I mean, if it's there, it's there. It's pretty subtle.
Yeah.
I'm ready for final thoughts. What about you?
Yeah. I was just looking up where it's bottled at, trying to see if we might have given it a lot of accolades, and
it's just white label.
I'm looking into it. We're gonna see. So, what do you give me your thoughts while we get Craig on this?
All right.
thing.
So from Mick to our kin out there, I'm gonna give it a solid no thumbs up, no thumbs down. Like, I would not mind if this was the beverage available, where I was at out to drink or out at a restaurant. It does say something about you, though. Like, imagine this, Pat. Back in our college days, I climb up onto the roof of your house, and I have a 6-pack of beer, 6-pack of like some kind of easy drink, New Belgium, and then I have like a brown bag with this in it, and I like set the 6-pack of beer down for everybody, and then I pull this bottle out of the brown bag. If you're drinking out of this bottle, if I did that, what would you be thinking? This dude's an alcoholic.
Yeah. It looks like it's something strong.
It looks like it's gonna mess you up.
Yeah,
like make you see cross-eyed.
And it looks kind of like not cheap either.
No,
like it
has a very expensive appearance.
Someone who means business, and it kind of was.
How much was it per bottle?
Math dividing to 17.50 divided by 2 is 8.5.
There you go.
So
that's not bad. 32 ounces.
Yeah,
it would be 3-ish cans of beer.
Yeah.
So I mean,
3 cans of beer for $17.
It's expensive.
But yeah, so it's it's not.
That's actually, I think that might be the most expensive kombucha we've had on the show. Like a beer, a can and a half of it is $8. I don't know. I think we've had $20 for a 4-pack on the show, so it's pretty pricey. All that said, yeah, I can't knock it really, but I can't really give it anything more than like what it is. Actually, you know what? Screw it. F- it. We're approaching the end of the kombucha line here. Dude, the aesthetic of the blue bottle, the nice clean label, the fact that it seems like it's not this, I mean, it doesn't come off as the stereotypical kombucha that every white girl's drinking, right? I'm going to give it a thumb up. All right. Presentation and taste are both above average for kombuchas. Yeah.
See, I think, I agree. I'm going to go with 1 thumb up as well because of a couple things. Like, I think that I would enjoy this if I was sitting in like a hot springs with snow coming around me. Just kind of like if I just felt like I was just out as a wild man. I just feel like this connects you to an older time and an older thing.
I was recently at Hot Springs surrounded by snow falling.
Yes. Yeah.
I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I could do it. Yeah.
It's earth connecting. It would be almost as connecting as like sunning your perineum.
Nope.
No. Oh, we don't do that here at the Mick Pat show?
No, we don't do that.
Okay.
None of us do that.
No, we don't do that at the Mick Pat show. That's ridiculous.
Just get your energy, recharge.
Half our listeners are Googling perineum right now.
Yeah.
AKA the taint.
The taint, man.
The fleshy fun bridge. The spot where God sewed you up.
Which is also, spoiler, going to be our kombucha line.
Yes. We've
Gooch Hooch. And we're back, and we're gonna say, is that June that you're tasting as the base for this? No, it's Uncle Fudge's Gooch Sweat, fermented with honey.
We might shamelessly start our own.
Why the fuck should everybody else be getting away with it and not us?
We're gonna start our own white labeled kombucha brand, and we're going to have a great picture on the front of it. It's going to look clean, and we're just going to sell it. But we're going to be open about it. We're going to be like, listen,
we don't make this.
Listen, we don't make this. We don't bottle it. We don't do anything. We occasionally drink it, but not that often because it's not even that good. But it's a funny thing to send to your friends. Yeah. Uncle Fudgy's Gooch Booch. So coming your way.
I'm all about it.
2024.
And you can, as always, find our latest reviews, especially of this one from Wild Tonic, on Untapped.
Untapped.
Which I'm taking the photo for now.
Not a dating app. It's a beer app.
Wouldn't be a very good dating app if everyone was Untapped on it.
I still haven't.
You'd have to get off of it as soon as like you do your first one night stand.
Yeah, you're out. I've got a... I totally forgot what I was going to say now.
Nice.
I don't know what was going anywhere with any of that.
Refresh, reset.
I got to refresh and reset
something that. About Untapped, about reviews.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't even have the app yet. I should get it.
It is an app, but I don't have the app either. I just use the website.
Oh. So you out there listening, you get the app on your phone right now. We might not, but you need to get it. And we probably will at some point. You can also view it online. But this week, we're also talking about episode 8 of the HBO Max series, The Last of Us. And, here's where, as we warn every time, we're moving into spoiler territory. And this show this is the second to last episode of the season. And so
semi-finale,
the build up. Like the shows do this where they kind of lull, they kind of put less energy in there, and then right before the last episode, they really got to take the action way up, ramp up they ramp up the energy, and then they're able to kind of conclude it, because on the next one they can cliffhanger it, and this is their only chance. The episode before the finale is where they typically if you stopped on lots of shows, you wouldn't have to watch the actual season finale, and you could just like be done with the show forever.
Yeah.
But if you watch the season finale,
You have to.
they hook you back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
True.
And in this one, it starts off with Joel is still all jacked up because he's been gut stabbed by a splintering baseball bat, and Ellie's working to take care of him, and she she goes out hunting to find some food and encounters 2 other hunters out there. And after she shoots her deer, they try to take it, and as it goes in this world, most of the time when you encounter somebody, they're a threat to you, and so things go kind of awry.
It's a little tense for a minute.
A little tense in there,
But she gets the drop on him pretty well, and I actually like that part because
I really like that scene where it showed her like her maturity, or like this, like she walks up behind the guys and just is like yelling and like, drop it. And this is also negotiating, thinking a couple steps ahead, like
unloads their rifles.
After she makes a negotiation that's going to save Joel's life, she then disarms these guys, then walks over and incapacitates their weapons, and is this, I think they were showing in this opening episode just kind of like how far she's come, especially if you pair it up with the last episode where you have her really still as like a kid. She's gone through some things, like when they're in the mall with her friend Riley, there's still like that child innocence there when they're just playing video games, running around the mall, having fun. Not that many worries in the world. And then all the way to now where she's like able to handle 2 grown men mentally and physically.
Yeah. Present wise, you know what I mean? Like
her presence. Yeah. A strong commanding presence.
I really do like how, there was no dumb moment, right? Like I'm used to like shows like this, like the kid is out on their own trying to be an adult, and well, they're a kid, so we have to have them act dumb and be too trusting or too whatever, you know what I mean? And then all of us are like, dude, come on, like even a normal teenager isn't like dumb enough to just be like, oh, you said you're good guys?
Right.
All right. Well, I'll put my gun down so that way you can kidnap me. You know what I mean? Like the way she went about it, I thought was all really logical. Interesting enough, probably one of my favorite twists in the game, this is a little bit of trivia, is when her and David are waiting in that little ski lodge area.
Is David the creepy pastor man?
Yeah. The pedophile.
Spoiler. We'll get into that guy and
thoughts on that.
Yeah, all that stuff later.
But while they're waiting in there, they get attacked by a horde of clickers.
Ooh.
And as the clickers run up, we see David draws out a hidden pistol and helps Ellie shoot and kill the clickers. And you realize as a player, okay, this guy had a gun on him the whole time, and he could have used it.
He's either a friend or he plays the long game.
Exactly. And immediately, though, like he's the first person in the game that the game really does far better than I think the show did. The game really makes you think, maybe this is a good dude. Maybe I found a good person.
Yeah.
And it's not for a little while before it's revealed that he's a bad man. He's a bad man. Also in the game, he's not a pastor. But anyways, so as things kind of progress, Ellie escapes them as they kind of take the deer. They keep the deer for themselves. She takes the penicillin back to Joel, does a couple
shoots
squirts
of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really OD on penicillin, I think.
I don't know, but she got it in him, right in the wound.
I don't even know if that's more effective or less effective. Part of me thinks like it's supposed to be intravenous, to get like through your whole body. It's not just supposed to be site of infection.
Right. And I guess penicillin's always been, I've always like had it orally.
I've had it on an IV drip
on IV
once.
before, yeah. But so yeah, I mean, shoot it right in the wound. Why not? Get it right to work. Osmosis Jones and his little pill. Get him in there.
Yeah.
Start fighting off those bad guys.
Osmosis Jones wasn't in a pill. Osmosis Jones was the white blood cell.
As I said, Osmosis Jones and his friend the pill.
Oh, and his friend the pill, dude. Yeah. That's a great movie. We should brews and reviews that because that movie I think probably holds up.
That's good.
It was a pretty dark movie. I remember as a kid.
It holds up in everything. It's even pretty like scientifically sound. I mean,
yeah,
like if you're trying to get a little basic understanding of, body function.
When's the last time you watched that movie?
I actually watched it like less than a year ago.
Oh, damn it. Okay. I haven't watched it in like 10 years.
Okay. Yeah, I watched it with it was with a family.
Gotcha.
I watched it and yep. But so then in the game, were there any other differences?
Yeah, there's a couple, but we'll get into that as we kind of go. More of the differences stuck out to me towards the end. I mean, I think the biggest one was their decision to make it a religious cult rather than just like. So
it wasn't a religion.
He's not religious
religion didn't have anything to do with it in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know what it added to the show, other than kind of was just like, I kind of felt like it was a little bit of like a statement of like, these white supremacist pedophile Christians, you know what I mean? It kind of felt like a little on the nose a little bit. But anyways, they go off looking for her and she kind of tries to hide Joel from him. From what I recall in the game, she essentially just goes back with David or is captured and brought back with David after the shootout, in fighting the clickers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think, for me, I liked her chase scene on the horse, and like her again, like an opportunity to show like Ellie's learned from Joel. Like she's been listening
she was going
to him
hard.
I mean, and the truth is like, she didn't drop a lot of bodies, right?
Right.
But like, I think we can clearly see that this show is characterizing her as someone who's learned from her last 4 or 5 months traveling with Joel. Like at this point, like really when we think about it, it's probably been close to 5 months,
right,
since they left Boston. I mean, that's almost half a year. She's learned a lot.
Yes, a lot of on the job training.
Yeah.
And one thing that I didn't understand, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Who did Joel kill? Was it the guy who stabbed him? So
the group that went to the CSU.
Yeah.
And he killed the dude with the bat.
Yeah. Is that who they're referring to?
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I mean, it doesn't need to be, since all these guys end up being bad dudes anyways, it doesn't need to be justified, but it's like, if Joel had killed this guy even remotely in the wrong, you could be like, oh, they took a father away, but they did not portray those guys remotely as anybody besides just thugs.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is in the game too. Not necessarily that like Joel and Ellie killed a father, but I think while they're at the university campus in the game,
they kill one of David's guys.
They kill a couple. Right. And they don't know, like they just find out later that it was people from David's group.
Right. But it's just I think that was a miss on
a little bit of a shot and a miss. I think it wasn't memorable enough.
Yeah. It was like, oh, that was just like a thug with 2 of his dudes. It wasn't somebody's like,
Did you see The Walking Dead like season 3 or something like that up into there?
Yeah.
There's this like one episode where like the last 20 minutes is Rick and Daryl, I think, in a bar with 2 guys who are also survivors from the governor's like town.
Oh yeah.
And they're having a long conversation, and like these guys are kind of saying it, giving all the right answers. Rick's giving all the right answers, and they're just at this tension because they know they really don't have a choice to walk out of here, because it's like, I got my group, you got your group. were both probably too big to join together.
Right.
And there's too much like, they're going to be competition for authority, XYZ, whatever. And like, I just think like that was a really good moment in that show where there was like, we really got to know who this bad dude was in this like one, like 20-minute segment.
Right.
And then like Rick shoots both of them, and kills both of them really quick. And I think like something like that in the show would have worked really well, a little bit better of a guy who's like, hey, we have a community.
Right.
We're civilized. No one's hungry right now. We got plenty of food in stores stocked up.
Mm-hmm.
We have a leader. He looks after people. We even have like, we go to church and stuff, and like, just like say, and he's like got all the right answers, but then like Joel and Ellie
something goes wrong. Yeah.
Kill him. And then it's like,
or even like he reaches in his pocket to pull out like
something
like a map or a snack. He's going to give her a candy bar.
And Joel drops
and he goes too fast and he just drops him.
Yeah.
Like something like just
something to be a little bit more
even
like
a little, even if as cheesy as where he's like, as he's dying, he's like mentions it to having a daughter.
Yeah.
Something.
And I get what you mean. It could have been more. Could have been more. And it wasn't. You know what? I'm going to say it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Same issue as episode 4. 4 and 5, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't need last week's episode. Episode 7, and as much time as it spent on Ellie and whatever her name was. Riley.
Kroger brand Zendaya.
Zendaya's sister in Euphoria.
Yes.
It just totally took too much time out of the actual main story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been more time spent with these cannibals, and like, because I mean, they're a pretty big part of the game. There's some long segments of being like with them for a little while.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt a little rushed, like with, I mean, Joel in like 2 hours back to full speed, not full speed. He was limping around and stuff.
But it was pretty much from like, he might be able to incapacitate one guy with this knife to like, he's
like
going
12
balls
hours,
out again.
12 hours later, he's fine.
Hey, but that penicillin, man, that'll save your life.
I don't think it's like that. I don't know.
Not for as bad a shape he was in. Laying there all septic.
With fever and all. That's like kind of the thing that I really like. That's my biggest qualm with this episode is that it's actually not a problem with this episode. It's the fact that last week's episode took more time out of the stuff I care about. And like we said, last week's episode was fine. It was above average TV. It's better than most of the stuff out there, but it took too much time out of the main story, I think.
Yep. And it's funny. So Dave is the pastor guy, right? It's like
David.
It's just so played out. It's like the second, like it opens up with this dude reading a Bible verse.
Revelations 21.
Yeah. Especially reading the end of the world stuff.
Well, it's the same also as like, it's the same verse that's read out in like Titanic.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's just the movie Bible verse.
Yeah. Especially for like this like end times nutty bad preacher man. And so it's like, oh, big surprise, that he's disingenuous. Big surprise, that he's actually like a violent bad guy.
Big surprise that he's a pedophile.
Yeah, you're just like, just like
that was actually something I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot that was in the video game.
And so it was just, I don't know, that whole thing to make him in like this wolf in sheep's clothing, which that's a story you can play out really well.
Yeah,
but just to be like, oh, we're gonna make sure they're like a religious cult, like some religious weirdos. Like, and the complaint would only be around like in a show where they like represented like the gay community really well.
Yeah.
Without like playing into maybe stereotypes or things, and just like gave a refreshing new take on it.
Yeah. Would have been nice to
but they couldn't help themselves. They couldn't help themselves but to be like, the worst people in the world though
are
hands down
is this fraudster, not really
religious people.
But yeah, like it's these religious people who have no ounce of like love or mercy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, here's my thing too with it is like, I don't know who ended up deciding to do that because in the game, you know, Neil Druckmann, he produced the show, co-produced, has helped direct, and he also directed the games. Now I know Neil Druckmann is a pretty left-leaning guy politically,
right?
He believes. So I don't imagine he has any real fondness for organized religion as a whole at all,
right?
But it's just like it's to the point now, like just as like someone who watches TV.
Yeah, even no matter who you are, where you come from, what you believe.
Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't that Christianity was portrayed as being used for like a cult thing. Because I mean, sure, it has many a times. Like the most proliferate cults are probably the Christian cults in the world,
or at least they have like they have, especially like in this style, like this modern style of a cult, where you have a controlling messianic type leader, and
who's really a sadist,
right? Like that sort of thing,
child bride kind of stuff,
and who really, and they use scripture to abuse those who are less powerful than them, and to maintain their power.
But dude, you know what? I would, and like all that said, like I mean, you're taking the words out of my mouth. I just think it'd be way more refreshing, way more bold, have a lot more punch. If it was, a Jewish cult, a Muslim cult, or like literally like, dude, the one thing that I remember seeing in one movie, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was supposed to be nonfiction or fiction, but it portrayed a Buddhist cult, which exists. Like there are like some of the like most violent, horrific cults in Asia are Buddhist cults,
right, which would make sense because of their location. Like cults are born out of, religious truths being taken and then abused upon people. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so,
and I guess like, I don't know, like, what it would have been insane. It would have been really refreshing if we had like, the, what is it? The like, it's like the Messianic Jewish cult that a lot of African Americans believe. It's called like it's called the Black Hebrews, or the original Hebrews cult, where they believe like Jews today aren't actually Jews, but only if you're black are you a Jew. I mean, it's really weird. It's a really weird cult. I've known a couple guys who were a part of it, right? And like it's very like superiority complex, which is something that they like mention in this in the interviews behind the scenes. Excuse me. When they were coming up with it, they were like, yeah, we think this would be like a good touch on it, like a religious cult. And the reasons they provided, though, just weren't really solid of like why did they pick the most like cliched version. I think Craig Mazin said something. He's like, they wanted to secure so this is like quotes from like their interviews and stuff. Druckmann found David's goal of producing offspring through violence representative of some organized religions. I was just like,
like Antifa.
Yeah, I was
an organized religion?
I was like, well, honestly, like there's only one religion I know of that literally has it in its doctrine outlined to reproduce to the point to replace the native population. That's Islam. Like Islam has that in the Quran. To like a nonviolent means of like adding to the Muslim population in a nation and growing your Muslims is to just have a lot of Muslim kids, and like have more kids than your non-Muslim neighbors. Yeah. And, but that's, not a violent way. And that's the only organized religion that I can think of that literally has that, like that outlined. Like, don't get me wrong. Christianity and Judaism have a, be fruitful and multiply. Right. But it's not like as purposefully like do this to, produce offspring through this way. And then Mazin noted his goal, Mazin noted David's goal to secure a future. That's like the quote, to secure a future reflective of the ideologies of white supremacists. I was like, wouldn't that be just reflective of the ideologies of like literally everyone? Like, isn't everyone trying to secure a future? Isn't Joel and Ellie exactly this whole show about securing a future?
Yeah.
A future where there's no cordyceps. Like, I was like, you guys have the most cookie cutter white bread, like flat water reasons for like kind of this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
All that said, it just felt like it was cliched. Could have been done better. I really didn't want them to change anything. I felt like we needed more time with the cult. I didn't want them to change it up from the game because I thought they were really scary and well written in the game. And then I felt like whatever they added to it in the show didn't add anything. It might have just actually distracted from the original like good writing that was there. Yeah,
because there are bad pedophiles who aren't religious.
Majority, I would say, just from my experience.
Yeah, so it's like
I will say this: the majority of pedophiles I knew who were in jail,
right,
were not religious in any way,
and they were probably still like charming, endearing. Like some certain, not all of them, but like they can be. They have the ability to groom.
I would say the ones in jail are usually the non-charming ones who get caught because they look creepy as hell.
Right,
you know?
Right. Like,
what's that creepy guy doing?
A lineup walks in and he just like he did it. Yeah. He did it. He didn't know. But all that to say, like, there are plenty of people out there who win trust of others and walk around like wolves in sheep's clothing. That and so for me, it just was like personally, I took a little bit of offense to it, just that I have to watch through that again. And I'm not saying that
it's been done.
There aren't people who haven't who like ascribe to my faith who haven't done bad things, but it's just as a viewer too. It's just like, I've seen this before. I've seen it so many times before.
I've seen it done better. I've seen it done better.
Yep.
All that said, though, I really did like the climax scene. I felt really bad for Troy Baker, though. Troy Baker, voice of Joel. Another little bit of trivia for everybody. He played James in this episode, and he's the voice of Joel in the video games. And Troy Baker really behind the scenes and in the podcast that he has for the show, he really has all this that he was talking about. You know, he says, I didn't want to portray James as a villain, but as someone with truth and empathy.
Is James the guy who wants to kill Ellie? He's like the second.
That's the weird thing, is that he said he wanted James to appear like moral and like more moral than David, and only working with David until like an opportunity arises to essentially flip David and take power for himself. Right. And it says like, this is literally his quote. He's like, James reflected in his inability to shoot Ellie when prompted. Troy Baker says he considered James a pragmatist who believes David is the devil. And as a result, was he
going to save Ellie from him?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because like there's so much that Troy is saying that he thought and developed for James and wanted to portray. And I was like, dude, James came off as I want to kill Ellie rather than save her. And he did. He wasn't hesitating when he was going to butcher her up and hold her down and let David cut her up. You know what I mean?
Yep. I hear you. And like I think actors like. They can overplay into the character. Yeah. This guy literally had 10 minutes of screen time.
I mean, he was on the screen for 10 minutes.
You know, that's it. And
6 lines.
Like, so there's no development there to get that out where, it's just overbaked it, or just is delusional. I don't know.
Well, like this is another thing too. Director Ali Abbasi directed Troy Baker to pray in the opening scene. Like to be praying while David's reading the Bible. But Baker suggested otherwise, noting James thinks it's all bullshit. He felt James was likely preparing to enter law enforcement when the outbreak occurred, supporting his experience with weaponry and demonstrations of morality. Oh. Now I'm just like, bro.
Or like here's a wild thing. What about an actual man of faith who's upstanding and good and who's like, this guy's bullshit?
Yeah, it's just like, hey, David's a cultist.
But I serve a higher power myself.
Yeah. Huh. It was just like, there's just a lot that was kind of, I don't know. My biggest thing, I think Troy Baker should have been David. Like Troy Baker's so close to the material. He's acted out scenes with Nolan North, who was David's voice actor in the video games. Nolan North is a really great, famous voice actor. And like just the fact that like Troy's been in the emotional shoes on the other side of this, and now he could kind of be in the other, like on the other side
and to
of it.
pay him more of a character,
more homage.
Yeah, just like, hey, this is the guy. Yeah, I agree. And I think that was probably my biggest thing was that that they are playing on this overdone trope. But aside from that, the other moral of the story is don't be a vehicle ever for Joel and Ellie, because you will get wrecked or die within the next 10 minutes or at the beginning of the next episode.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Or, here's my thing. Don't be a named character that meets and talks with Joel and Ellie, because you will be dead at the end of this episode or the end of next episode. That's what happens. Everyone else just dies by the end of the episode or by the next episode, which sucks, because that's like
They don't develop.
The game didn't feel formulaic like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because not everyone died. And it's because you spent different amounts of time with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really that's the issue with adapting to TV, is that it becomes a under an hour formula.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know. That's kind of sad. I saw someone talking about that, and it's like, dude, there's just no way they can do a season 2 really, where they just let it be these side characters that you meet and are written off in one episode.
Right.
Like someone mentioned, they're like, I really do feel like this is a prime example of a show that today would have benefited from the old school 22 episodes, season format.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Of like, dude, it used to be like every show, like Lost, every season was like 22 episodes a season, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, literally, like, that just helps it not be such a formula.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing every episode, where it's begun and concluded in like one episode.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's just a little too formulaic, I think. And I agree, like 9 episodes probably wasn't enough.
Right.
You know?
And I don't know if they've done a ton. They haven't done much cliffhangers in this. Like to keep
no, I think the biggest one was probably just Joel getting
stabbed.
injured.
Yeah. Because that was the big key to those other shows, which was partially like a marketing ploy, was like get them to tune in next week.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was riveting.
Well, I think of Lost too, though. I really don't think Lost was a cliffhanger often. I don't think 24 was often a cliffhanger every episode either, though. Like, I think you remember the cliffhangers, but then, like, I'll be fair too, I didn't watch every season of 24, but I just remember like a lot of it was just like, all right, like, shit, man, stakes are getting higher.
It's definitely not concluded.
Yeah, because I know it's episode, it's the 8th hour of the day and there's 24 hours to go. There's another 16 hours to go.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I guess that's just kind of, again, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't really actually want there to be anything removed from this season. Even episode 4 or episode 7, I don't want them removed. I just want more episodes.
Right.
I want more episodes around them.
Mm-hmm.
More time with Joel and Ellie and these characters.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't feel as formulaic.
Yeah.
I have a couple trivia things, unless there's something else you want to kind of jump into or thoughts. No, I mean, I thought it was cool, like the ending fight scene and all.
Yeah, I was about to say this did finally get to that, like the speed I want this show to be.
Like what do you mean speed?
Just the
like it was actually violent.
Yeah, just action's happening.
Yeah.
Action's happening on the screen, and and you even mentioned it 2 episodes ago, where you're like, oh, I thought I was gonna have a scene where Joel's just like, cinder blocking heads and things, and like you mentioned like a torture scene that I think actually ended up happening.
It happened in this
one.
Yeah,
and so Joel was not messing around. And one thing we've talked about this on other episodes in the past too, we kind of informed this, is Joel becoming a dad again.
Yep.
And this is where he goes full like mama bear.
Yeah.
Because that's where he's like, he just sticks a knife in this guy's leg and is playing it like a joystick till he gets what he wants.
Yeah.
And then kills him anyways, whatever. And he's just going scorched earth also. Like,
yep.
And at the end of it, the way they connect, it's like, this is, they're bonded in this way.
Yeah,
And-
Joel specifically body language wise is different this episode versus the other ones where like he just essentially like Pryor would just check on Ellie and be like, you okay?
It's mechanical.
You bet. Even if you look at like the way he handles things post big shootout in Kansas City, you know what I mean? And everyone, like all the clickers and stuff, like he's not very huggy. He's not like, let me carry you because you're a young girl who needs probably help in this trauma. But like literally, like in this one, he was. I thought he was gonna pick her up and literally like hold her in his arms as he walks off. You know, just to like yeah, Ellie didn't need to be rescued. Like she rescued herself.
Yeah, she did it. Yeah.
But the fact that now he's there, and now you don't have to rescue yourself. Now you can rest. I'm gonna carry you home. It's okay. You're my little girl. And like that behavior, I thought was like you said, like it was very pivotal, and it's the first time we see him like switch into that. I do wish we would have gotten an actual short, like just 10 frames of
That stick in that guy's head.
huh?
Or go ahead. There's a scene where he just kills a guy with a stick, but it just cuts.
Stick in a guy's head? I don't remember that scene. What?
After he stabs the one guy who's tied up.
Oh, I think it was a pipe. I
It's
think
a
he
pipe.
just
Yeah.
puts a pipe in his head.
Yeah, pipes in.
Yeah,
pipes
I
him in the
wish they
head.
would have cut away on that. I think they do too many cuts away. Like I know
It's
I know,
already rated TV mature, right?
Yeah, it is. I think they need to just commit to the violence a little bit more. But like, yeah, I would have liked to see him like, you know, make that guy's face crooked with the pipe. But like, dude, Ellie chopping on David. Like I wish like just a quick like, you know, if it's 60 frames a second,
24.
or
But yeah,
I think is it 24?
it'd probably be it's a lot of frames a second.
Sure, yeah, whatever the 10th is,
Yeah,
or you know, or a sixth of it, whatever it is, the multiple wise. Like just put it on the screen for like, you know, 10th of a second of literally just filleted David head. You know, just so that way we know like, oh, Ellie is not only seeing that and that's traumatizing, she's doing it. I wish we would have gotten that because it was so animalistic in the game. Like Ashley Johnson brought so much life and anger in the video game to Ellie's role, and
she went Mel Gibson Patriot on that guy's face.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and so I just wish they would have let us see that a little bit more, make it a little bit more understood. Here's the thing, though. I'm curious. What's it feel like that you're seeing Joel and Ellie in this situation? Like, what is it like? I mean, I know you already mentioned like Joel's become a little bit more paternal, but you got to see the violent side of Joel, like the gruesome violent side and a little bit of a gruesome primal side of Ellie.
Yeah.
Does it feel like you're seeing them change right before the end? Or does it feel like, you know, they were always this way, we're just now seeing it for the first time? Like, what's really how you're feeling? Because for me, I felt like this is what I've always known they were.
Right.
And now it's just the first time I get to tell everyone, like, see, they are that violent. They are incredibly violent people. Because in the video games, by the time that happens, you're not shocked at the violence.
Right.
You're like, yeah. Yeah. Because that's who we are right now. And that's who we've been this whole game.
Right. Yeah. So I think that it plays well for story for them to be like ramping up intensity, but it doesn't play well for what they are, the characters, how the characters actually are, and what because we know they've alluded to what Joel's gone through.
Yeah.
And then he's like not like that for a long time. It's kind of like all bark,
no bite
really. But
For
now he's gone. So I feel like they are. It maybe is being a little forced to do that, but I feel like they're just using it as a tool for a TV show.
Yeah.
But maybe they shouldn't.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, last little bit of trivia here I have, aside from what we've already spoke on. If you notice on set, did you notice pretty much all the cars had Colorado license plates? Pat's resetting our camera right now.
I did not know. I didn't notice that at all, actually.
Yeah, most of the cars had Colorado license plates. So it's still supposed to technically be in like, I would imagine northwest Colorado, somewhere. Excuse me, somewhere. I don't know where it would be. You know.
Yeah.
Or because I think they said they were going to go to Utah, Salt Lake City, the Firefly headquarters. I'm just thinking like,
maybe were they in Fort Collins?
Maybe go through Grand Junction.
Well, but the thing is, like, they didn't go far, like from the like. So Joel gets stabbed on campus.
Yeah, I guess it. So there's no lake here though. That was the other thing. I was like, "Where's a lake in Colorado?"
Well, yeah, but that's just a miss on.
That's definitely Canada.
Yeah, yeah, and we got a couple little ponds around here that we are in reservoirs we call lakes, but the nothing like that. And there is a small town up the road from here that is like that held on to their the KKK.
Yeah, you're
stuff
right.
For a long time.
Right, yeah,
I wonder if they were playing on that also. I doubt they even knew about that.
No, I don't think they did.
They're not that smart.
No, but anyways, there was that, which I thought was cool, and then here, in the game, Ellie does eat a little bit of the food that David gives her before she realizes it doesn't taste like rabbit.
So I guess was it supposed to be?
I think in the game he says it's rabbit rather than deer.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and she like then tosses the food back when she realizes it's not deer or rabbit, whatever he tells her. And in the show, she didn't eat any of it. You know,
right?
I wish there would have been.
We don't know what it was or wasn't.
Oh, it was person, dude. Didn't you see all the bodies hanging up? There was no deers hanging up.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Go through the older meat before you go through the fresh meat. You know
that's a good point.
I did like that note though too. In the freezer thing, it looked like they dragged Allie's horse there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was like it looked like they had taken the horse into the freezer as well, where Joel finds it. So I was like, yeah, no, why waste good horse meat?
Yep. The only it was a bad special effects or something. It looked like a giant stuffed animal.
It did.
They didn't do that part well.
No,
they should have had it.
The bodies look good though.
Here's the other thing. Okay, so maybe I'm going to blame it on their political leanings. You're going to show entrails hanging out of a human that's missing an arm.
Yeah.
But you're damn
decapitated.
You're damn sure not going to show a horse getting gutted.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're going to put a velvet covered horse out there.
You know why? It's because there is no like PETA equivalent for human violence in TV.
Oh, hell no.
You know what I mean? Like you show animal violence in TV, PETA's going to make a example out of you.
Yep. And that was the other thing.
You could kill children in TV and no one's going to like... UNICEF's not going to be like, oh, God, stop that.
The only reason it was okay in this one to kill the horse, it was like, oh, of course, the Christians would kill the horse. I had that thought myself. I was like, yeah, those bad religious guys would kill the horse.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, so they that was a little bit of a miss for me on that pulled me out. That was the part where I got pulled out of the show. It was like,
really?
That's a fake horse.
See, it was a fake horse, but I liked the thought that they were like, they would have skipped out on the horse. They're going to drag that horse back and eat it.
Yeah,
I like that.
But there's no way two of them could have done that.
No. In the scene where Ellie's holding them at gunpoint, she was actually, the actress Bella Ramsey was struggling because it was a real gun. It was a real hunting rifle.
They're heavy. But before you're like 17-year-old dude, it's hard to hold something up like that.
Yeah. And like, well, especially just like, you don't, until you grow big enough where it makes sense to like a rifle's proportion to your arm length.
Yeah.
It's all that weight in front of both your hands.
Oh yeah.
It's like holding a 2x4 out from your shoulder.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. And anyways, they kept it in because they were like, you know what, we really like that Ellie's like, that Bella's like struggling, like that she's shaking in the cold, trying to hold the gun up and like kind of channel Joel. We're gonna keep that in. And I like that because I thought that was pretty accurate. I was like, dude, I remember being in like middle school and struggling to hold up some pellet rifles. Pellet rifles, I was just like, dude, this thing is heavy as shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I remember holding up a real rifle for the first time, just being like, you can't do it.
I was shocked at actually, I remember when I was, again, I was like 17 or something like that, but I was shocked at how light the cowboy repeater was. You know what I mean? Like I was legitimately like, damn, this am I stronger or is this just like a light, nice cowboy rifle?
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, and then last thing was
Are you going to talk about the is this trivia or goofs that we're on still?
no goofs. I don't really have any goofs for
I've
this
got
episode.
one.
Okay, go for it.
No, but finish your trivia.
I think the last one was just the difference in how things play out in the game for like the cult and its group. Like it's alluded to that like everyone is a little bit more religious, not religious. I mean, oddly, it's everyone does have a little bit more of a cultish religious fervor for David in the games. Like I think I remember scenes in the game where people are like, she killed David,
right?
Get her, find her, and like they're trying to hunt her down and stuff. Tight, fucking tight. I'm sure that sounds a little jarring to everyone, and if you're watching the video, I'm sure it looks a little jarring. Fucking Pat over here. Pat spilled some water. And in a panic to try to pad it up and not have it ruin our cords and hard drives, he hit the switch and it turned everything off. Luckily, somehow, miracle grace of God, our whatever this thing is writes directly to the SD card while it's recording. So we didn't lose everything, but I'm sure that sounds drawing. Anyways, glad that you could enjoy how stressed out we look right now versus how we were just a few seconds ago. All I said in the game, the followers of David are a little more culty. I think majority of them in the game we're supposed to believe don't know they're eating people. They just legit believe
they're being taken care of.
Like David is kind of a messianic person to them, always finding food, providing for them, and they really are like willing to kill for him pretty easily. So, all that said, that's all I got for the episode. I'm ready to give it a rating. What about you, man?
Yeah, the one goof I saw, was when at the beginning when Ellie's hunting the deer, it shows her dry fire the gun. Oh,
I thought about that because it's such a jerky trigger pull.
It dry fires the gun, cuts to it. So it's showing her face, hand on the trigger, and it goes, and then it cuts to bang. Over the shoulder. Yeah, cuts to over the shoulder, and then goes bang.
Yeah. And I thought like my immediate thought when that happened, I just like internally was like, I didn't know she was hunting with a muzzle loader. You know what I mean? Because like muzzle loaders, you pull a trigger, you do have a second before it goes bang. I knew it wasn't a muzzle loader, like based on I got it, but that was like my humor towards the show, and in that long cut pause before it goes bang.
And the guy editing it, he doesn't know.
No,
maybe honest mistake, whatever. But still,
bro.
Here's the deal: for 15 mil an episode, you got to catch that stuff. And also, the deer was like super bad of special effects.
I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was pretty good.
The scene where she shoots at it, or the scene where it's
the scene where like
later when it's dead.
No, the scene where she shoots at it and it stumbles and falls and regains itself. I thought it looked fine.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I was watching it on my 50-inch, 55-inch, whatever, and I was about 8 feet away from the TV.
Looked weird to me.
Were you watching it on your phone?
Yeah.
Wow.
But you'd think that
shocking that you're watching on your phone and you think you could see better quality on it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is it? People let us know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
let us know if it was jank.
Yeah. They kind of were making it look more like this sounds super technical and dumb. They're kind of making it look more like a stag than deer, like a red stag. It's a classic thing that happens in movies. But anyway, and then when you get up to it, it's a mule deer. Whatever.
Oh, maybe they did do that.
Whatever.
I wouldn't know though.
It was just a little. It's whatever.
But I don't hunt enough to know the difference between stag and deer. I just call all male deers bulls or stags.
Yeah, or bucks.
or bucks.
Yeah. But that was the only thing I saw that was one of the only things that I saw that kind of was stand out. But I think that for me, this episode, I'm giving it a thumbs up. I liked it. I thought that it was good. It was more of what I thought I'd be kind of watching.
Mm-hmm.
That, with this level of action, this pacing.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a thumbs up. The sad thing is I've been looking forward all season to giving this one 2 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why, I feel bad about it. I yes, it deserves a thumbs up, but bro, it easily could have been a 2 thumbers, and it just sucks that it wasn't. That's the way I feel about it. So all that said, thank you for joining us, Ken. We appreciate it. If you're new to the show, even more of a thank you for joining us and sticking around. Hope you get a laugh out of our technical difficulties. Consider leaving a review so we know how we're doing. You can review us on pretty much any streaming platform that we're on, as well as head on over to Untapped to leave your reviews of the beverages we're having, and hopefully you're drinking along with us. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and until next time.
Thanks for tuning in. If you love this episode, drop us a review. If you have qualms or comments, leave us a voicemail on our website. While you're there, check out our latest news, merch, and deals from our sponsors. Till next time, Ken.